See, in one of my presentations, I have explained about the major differences which could be seen between non-cardate and cardate animals. In this discussion, I will be explaining mainly about the cardates. What are cardates? How can they be distinguished? What important features they possess? See, this phylum Chordata includes very diverse kinds of animals, and more than 65,000 species of living cardates are known so far. Out of them, the protocardates, they are more than 3,000 in number. So 3,000 species of protocardates are reported. There are jawless vertebrates like cyclostomes. There 100 species have been known to be uh, surviving one. Fishes, they are more than 30,000 in number. Likewise, amphibian species, their number could be 5,000. Reptiles, 10,000 species. Birds, more than 10,000 species. And mammals, 5,500 species. So it is an approximate estimate of the different kinds of cardates. If you see the salient features of a cardate animal, this is a diagram in which three important features are depicted. On the dorsal side, you can see this is a tubular structure. It is actually the nerve cord. This is dorsal hollow nerve cord. It gets differentiated into brain and spinal cord in majority of cardates. So this nerve cord develops from neural plate. In the embryonic stage, a neural plate is actually formed from ectoderm, and that folds upon itself and forms the nerve cord, which later gets differentiated into central nervous system, that is brain and spinal cord, in majority of cardates, particularly in vertebrates. The second important feature is the presence of notochord, and in fact, because of this structure, the cardates are actually named. Uh, Chordata means animals bearing the notochord. Chorda means a string-like structure or a tough string which actually supports the body, and this structure will definitely be present in the life of a chordate. It may not be present in the adult stage in several chordates, and at its place the vertebral column will grow. So this notochord is another important feature which is shown to be lying just below this nerve cord, and in case of several vertebrates, this structure will be present in the embryonic stage. The third important feature which is seen in case of cardates is the presence of pharyngeal gill slits. See here, this is alimentary canal, mouth leads into buccal cavity, and then this is part of pharynx which is perforated. So you can see the presence of these gill slits in protocardates, also in case of cyclostomes and fishes, but in adult amphibians and reptiles, birds and mammals, the gill slits will disappear. So these are three fundamental features which has to be present in the chordate life, some stage of a chordate life. Okay, so this is the diagrammatic structure of a vertebrate animal. See, in this animal you can see the presence of your brain and the spinal cord. It forms from the tubular nerve cord. Then just below it you can see this is notochord, which may be replaced and which gets replaced by vertebral column in case of vertebrates, like you find cyclostomes, fishes, and then tetrapods. They possess vertebral column here at the place of notochord, and then this one is alimentary canal, and in earlier forms of chordates you can see the presence of gill slits. In this diagram you can see heart is shown here, and that is ventrally located. This is the characteristic of chordates. They have ventrally located heart, whereas in case of non-chordates, heart will be present in the dorsal side if it is present in such animal. So, and this is actually a tetrapod vertebrate, so you can see the presence of fore and hind limbs are there. Another important feature is the presence of post-anal tail in case of chordates. Here is the anal opening. Just behind this you can see the caudal portion is present. So in case of chordates, there will be a tail structure, and that structure will be located behind the anal opening. So this post-anal tail is another characteristic of chordate. Now, here in this diagram, you can see a protochordate, that is urochordate. Urochordate are, this is also referred as tunicate. In such animals, there is a covering. The integument is very, leathery, and that is called as tunic. So these animals are characterized with the presence of this tunic. You can see here there is wider opening, and that is actually branchial aperture. So this is incurrent siphon, and through this siphon water enters into the body, leads into this pharynx. Pharynx is quite large portion, and it is well perforated. So many slits are there, and it opens outside through atrial opening. So this is excurrent siphon through which water goes outside, and other structures will be located in this lower portion. Now, Herdmania is one of the well-known, animal or tunicate. It is known as sea squirt, and if you see its larval stage, you will find that its larva, that is tadpole larva, is well advanced than this adult. Reason is that in case of its tadpole larva, there will be notochord, which is chordate feature, and nerve cord will also be present in this animal. But when it metamorphoses into adult shape, then this nerve cord disappears, and the uh, this notochord that totally disappears, and the nerve cord that gets reduced in the form of a some ganglia. So what we find that the larval form is more advanced than the adult, and this kind of metamorphosis, in which some of the chordate features are actually lost, is referred as retrogressive metamorphosis, because there is no progression, there is actually retrogression, reduction in some of the essential features of chordate. So you find that chordates means adult one that possesses some of the structures which are believed to be present in it, and the larval form is more advanced, and this is a situation you will find in majority of urochordates, except Oikopleura, which is a specimen in which the chordate features are retained in the animal throughout its life, and it retains the larval form. It doesn't actually change into a complete adult structure. One can say that it shows a kind of neoteny. So uh, so these are two animals here shown in this picture. You can see this one is a urochordate. This is like Herdmania. This one is Salpa. Doliolum is another specimen which is a urochordate. Pyrosoma, Oikopleura. So these are the representatives, and out of them only two are shown in this diagram. And in all these cases you will find that there will be branchial opening as well as atrial opening, and there will be inflow of water inside the body, and the water will also be going outside through another route. and because of this continuous inflow and outflow of water, the feeding of this animal will be achieved, respiratory you know physiology will be accomplished, and excretory contents will be released outside. Gametes will also be released outside through such openings. Here in the lower side you can see a cephalocardate, and lancelet is one example of it. This one is actually branchiostoma, that is popularly known as Amphioxus. And in this animal, you can see the presence of nerve cord and notochord, as well as pharyngeal gizzards. This is the pharynx, This portion is pharynx, quite large in size, and this possesses or retains all cardate features. If you cut its transverse section, you can see on the dorsal side presence of tubular nerve cord, then notochord, and the pharyngeal portion will be seen in that section if the section is going from the pharynx. So all three cardate features could be seen in that transverse section. So this is amphioxus, which is scientifically known as branchiostoma, and its so many marine species are reported. Here the primitive vertebrates are shown, that is the cyclostomes, those vertebrates which lack jaws. So these animals, they have circular mouth. This one is Petromyza, and that is lamprey, and the Petromyzan, they are actually dioecious in nature. They could be, marine, and for reproductive purpose, reproduction, they migrate to freshwater rivers. Its larval stage is emocete. So this is well-known cyclostome, and then you can see here, this is myxine, which is commonly known as hagfish. So it also possesses circular mouth. Jaws are totally absent here in this animal. This animal is hermaphrodite. So these are two well-known representatives of jawless vertebrates. Then in this figure you can see so many different kinds of cardates. Actually they are vertebrates, because vertebrata is one subphylum under which all these animals are put, and you can see on the upper side these are two fishes shown. This one is seahorse, and the amphibians are shown in the form of an neuron, that is a frog, and this one is a salamander. So these are two representatives of class Amphibia. Then reptiles like crocodile and snakes are shown in this diagram. So they belong to class Reptilia. Then there is a class Aves, which includes birds. So these are two birds shown in the diagram. And then class Mammalia, that includes mammals which possess mammary glands, which are capable to feed their babies, and they possess hairs on their body. So here you can see a metatherian animal, that is kangaroo, and a bat which is adapted for aerial mode of life. If we classify cardates, then there are two actually divisions under Chordata phylum. One is acrania, that is those cardates which do not have cranium or brain box, and the other group is craniata, that is animals which possess brain box, and acrania, that comprises protocardates. Primitive cardates come under this division. And if you classify this acrania into its subphyla, then it is divided into two subphyla. One is Urochordata, about which I just told, that is also referred as Tunicata. Herdmania, Salpa, Doliolum, all these animals belong to this Urochordata. And the other one is Cephalochordata, that includes Amphioxus. So these are two subphyla under Acrania, and the animals of these two groups are collectively known as protocardates. Then under Craniata, the single subphylum is there, and that is Vertebrata. This Vertebrata subphylum further gets divided into two groups. One is Anatha, that includes jawless vertebrates like the living cyclostomes, whose example I told, Petromyzan and Myxine. They come under Anatha. They are jawless vertebrates. And the other one is Gnathostomata, that is jawed vertebrates. So this Gnathostomata further gets divided into two superclasses or two series referred as species, that includes all kinds of fishes, and then Tetrapoda. It is another superclass, and this Tetrapoda superclass further gets divided into four classes, that is Amphibia, Reptilia, Aves, and Mammalia. So this is a short, or you can say gross classification of chordates. This gives us the idea about the diverse nature of this phylum. Means this phylum comprises very diverse kind of animals. Those animals which are quite small in size, some of them are microscopic, and then there are very large sized of chordates, like marine, whales are there. They are very large in size. Terrestrial animals, some of them have become extinct, like dinosaurs. They were huge in their size when they were existing on this land. So we find a very diverse kinds of animals coming under this phylum. We can also see some of the important features, like I just told, that these chordates could be aquatic, they could be marine or freshwater, and a number of them are terrestrial also. Some of them are adapted for aerial mode of life, like birds and bat. These animals show radial symmetry. They are triploblastic. They are developed from ectoderm, mesoderm, and endoderm. They are deuterostome animals. Deuterostome animals means it is blastopore that give rise to the anal opening. So at the time of initial development, if you see the developmental stages, then blastopore, which is formed, that gives rise to anal opening, and mouth develops substantially away from that aperture. Then these are enterocoelous. If you see the coelomic cavity in case of chordates, then that one is enterocoelous. Now, as I told, three fundamental features are present in these animals. That is presence of dorsal tubular nerve cord, notochord, and pharyngeal gill slits. Digestive system in these animals will be well developed. That is, all different segments of digestive system could be seen. That is mouth leading into buccal cavity, then into pharynx, then into esophagus, then stomach, intestine. So all such segments of alimentary canal are there, and there are glands which are associated with the alimentary canal. They release their digestive enzymes into the system, and extracellular digestion would be taking place. These animals possess specific respiratory structures. In several cases, the respiration will be occurring through general body surface, because blood capillary reach over there, and there will be absorption of oxygen into the blood, and the release of carbon dioxide would be taking place from the general body surface itself. They may have lungs for respiration. In several cases, accessory respiratory organs are found, particularly in fishes. So, different kinds of respiration is accomplished in case of chordates. There will be distinct blood vascular system in case of chordates. The blood vascular system will be mainly closed type. That is, there will be actually blood capillaries through which blood would be flowing. That is, arteries will be dividing into arterioles. Such arterioles will give rise to fine blood capillaries. Capillaries will unite and form venule, and such venules will join into veins. So such kind of system is called as closed system, and it is seen in case of chordate animals. Heart will be ventrally located, and the blood pigment, that is hemoglobin, gets filled in a specific kind of cells. So blood contains cells filled with a specific pigment, and nervous system is well developed in these animals, that develops from embryonic neural plate, and in vertebrates particularly it is found to be well developed and getting differentiated into central nervous system or peripheral nervous system or autonomic nervous system. So it is well developed in case of chordates, and excretion occurs through nephridia in primitive chordates, whereas in higher forms kidneys are there which help in excretion. Reproduction may be asexual as well as sexual. Asexual reproduction occurs mainly in protochordates, some forms of protochordates, whereas majority of the chordates show sexual reproduction. And in these animals, there could be, means chordates may be monoecious or dioecious, but majority of them are dioecious, that is sexes are separate. And in all such forms, you will find that majority of such sexually dimorphic forms, they could be distinguished between male and females. That is, external features help to identify such forms. Fertilization could be internal or external, and development will be occurring through uh, direct, means it will be occurring directly or through larval stage, particularly in lower forms of chordates and also in fishes. Amphibians also have, tadpole larvae. So we find that the development may not be direct in every case, and there will be larval stage in certain forms. So this will be direct or indirect. So these are some of the salient features of chordates, since it's a group of animals that comprises very diverse kind of animals. So a very definite kind of characteristics could not be explained.